Okay, so today, this is Algebra 1, lesson 23. Today we're going to be talking about equivalent equations and the additive property of equality. So, two equations are equivalent if they are equal. Equivalent means equal. So, x plus 9 equals, it's x plus 6 equals 9, and x plus 10 equals 13. These two equations are considered equivalent because our x value is going to be the same for both. So if we put 3 in there, 3 plus 6 equals 9, and if we put 3 in there, 3 plus 10 equals 13. So that means the solution, the x value in both of these was the same. That makes them equivalent equations. Alright, additive property of equality. The additive property of equality just means that we can add one thing to both sides of an equation and it's still equal. So if we said 3 equals 3, super easy. If we added 2 to both sides of this, we would have 5 equals 5. Those are still equal. Okay, so the additive property of equality says that we can add something to both sides of the equal sign and our equation is still going to be equal. Alright, so for example, if we had x minus 4 equals 6, we could add plus 4 to both sides, and then these two would cancel, and we would have x equals 10. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the inverse operation, so the additive inverse. Inverse means opposite. Additive means add, so the opposite of adding, we're going to subtract, and if it's subtracting, we're going to add, we're going to do the opposite to solve equations. So let's do a bunch. So let's say that we have x plus 3 equals 10. Okay, so right here we have a plus 3. We're trying to get our x by itself, and then we just want it to equal something over here. So if we have plus 3, the opposite of plus 3 would be minus 3, and we're going to do that on both sides of the equation because minus 3 and minus 3 are equal to each other, so we can add them. X plus 0 would just be x. Positive 3 and negative 3 are going to equal 0. That means they cancel each other out, so we don't have any more plus 3. Now we're going to do 10 minus 3 is 7, and we've solved the equation. X equals 7. Okay, I'll do another one. What if we had x plus 10 equals 13? What's the opposite of plus 10? Minus 10. So we're going to say minus 10 here. Whatever you do to this side of the equation, you have to do the other side of the equation. That's the equivalent equations property. The additive property of equality. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do the other side. Alright, so these cancel, and we're going to have x equals 3. So 3 is the answer to that one. Alright, let's try one with subtracting. What if we had x minus 3 equals 10? Okay, what's the opposite of negative 3? Positive 3. Or you could say, what's the opposite of minus 3? Plus 3. So we're going to add plus 3 to both sides. These cancel, and we get x equals 13. Okay, so that's how we're going to solve basic equations using addition. Let's do a couple of examples. So 23.1 says x minus 3 equals 12. So we're going to take our minus 3, we're trying to get x by itself, and we're going to do the opposite of that. So minus 3, that would be plus 3. These two cancel, and we get x equals 12 plus 3 is 15. X equals 15. Okay, we'll do the next one. This is 23.2. X plus 1/4, oops, wrote 1/3. 1/4 equals negative 3/8. Before I even try to solve this, I'm going to go ahead and find my common denominator here. So I'm going to change my 1/4 into 8s. So that would be x plus 2/8 equals negative 3/8. Okay, plus 2/8, I'm going to do the opposite of that, so minus 2/8. And whatever I do to this side, I have to do this side, so minus 2/8. These cancel, and I'll just have x left on this side equals negative 3/8, and negative 2/8 would be negative 5/8. so x equals negative 5/8. That was a little more tricky because it was negative. Alright, let me see if there's another example I could do here. 23.3 k plus 2 1/3 equals 2/9. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and convert this. 3 times 2 is 6, 7/3. And then I want to make that into ninths. So I'm going to multiply it by 3, so that would be 21/9. So k plus 21/9 equals 2/9. So now I'm going to subtract. And that's going to be k equals 19/9, negative 19/9. So they get a little more tricky when they're fractions. Alright, go ahead and pause the video and try the practice problems, and then I'll work them out for you. Okay, starting with A, x plus 5 equals 17. So in this one, it's real easy. We're just going to do the opposite of plus 5, which is minus 5 on both sides. 17 minus 5 is 12. Right? B, k minus 27 equals negative 38. So in this one, we have to do the opposite of minus 27, which would be plus 27. And we're going to have k equals, see, we're going to have to subtract negative 38, positive 27. We get negative 11. Okay. C, x minus 1/2 equals 3/8. I'm going to go ahead and change that to 8. So I'm going to say x minus 4/8 equals 3/8. Okay, and then I'm going to do the opposite of that, plus 4/8 and plus 4/8. These cancel. And I'm going to have x left on this side. And 3 and 4 is 7/8. X equals 7/8. Okay, the next one is a little bit longer because we got a lot of converting to do with our fractions here. So it says d plus 4 1/7 equals 3 1/6. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert these fractions. So I'm going to say 4 1/7, which would be 7 times 4 is 28, 29/7. And then I've got 3 1/6, 6 times 3 is 18, 19/6. And then I have to try to make all these have a common denominator, which would be 6 times 7 is 42. 7 times 19. Should be 133. And then 6 times 29. 174. So I've got d plus 174/42 equals 133/42. And then I have to do minus 174/42 minus 174/42. Those cancel. And I'm left with d on that side. And then I have to do 133 minus 174. So that would really, we're going to flip that and say 174 minus 133. And we're going to get negative 41/42. Alright, that's it for that lesson. Just message me if you have any questions, and to bring that on Wednesday, lesson 23.